When people end up coming out here, it's because they have something that they're trying to run away from.
It wasn't a thing. It wasn't an issue. Nobody asked me what I did. They still don't ask me what I did.
I almost committed suicide twice. I was only 18.
Somewhere in the southeastern corner of California, 45 miles from the Mexican border, there is a place that technically does not exist. No official city status, no mayor, no city council, no police department of its own, no running water, no rent. And yet people live there, hundreds of them, year-round, in the heat that crosses 120 degrees in summer, in the cold that surprises you at night when the desert gives back all the warmth it stole during the day. They call it Slab City, and it's proclaimed to be the last free place in America. Here's what this documentary is really about. It isn't about a quirky desert community. It isn't about eccentric art installations or off-grid living tips. It's about what happens, what actually happens, when people fall completely outside the systems that modern society built to hold them. And it's about what those people build instead, with whatever's left. Slab City is just the place where that story became visible enough if you watch till the end.
Properties in dispute, people can just burn your house down. Most people don't call the cops here. Tend to be their own police force. Nobody gets arrested for it. Everyone's a slabber. During the season, with 3,000 to 5,000 people live here. During the summer, only 150 stay. I'm one of those 4 times in a row. 10% of those on average die, so we have 15 deaths this year in 60 days. That's how rough it is. You are twice as safe being a combatant in Afghanistan than you are here during the summer.
I couldn't control my mind. I'd get horrible fucking images and stuff, sexual things. And I almost committed suicide twice. I was only 18. Plus, I had to keep moving, because if I stayed around people for very long, I would start getting paranoid about stuff.
A community that calls itself the last free place, built on the rejection of institutional systems, sustained, quietly every single month, by checks from those same institutions. They pay no rent for land owned by the state of California, they pay no property tax, they draw no utilities, and yet, the government assistance that most of them depend on connects them to the very society they have, in varying degrees, walked away from. The freedom is real, and so is the dependency underneath it. Both things are true at the same time. And somehow, in the middle of all of that contradiction, there is this. Every Saturday night, the Range hosts what might genuinely be the most democratic concert venue in America. Anyone who wants to perform puts their name on a list. The stage belongs to everyone. It costs nothing to watch. It costs nothing to play. Freedom can be messy. Yeah, that's one way to put it. Living in Slab City is not first and foremost an aesthetic. It is a daily physical negotiation with an environment that genuinely does not care whether you make it through the day. So let's go through what that actually means. There is no electrical grid. Power comes from solar panels, generators, and the kind of improvised ingenuity that develops in people who cannot pay for alternatives. Some residents have built genuinely impressive off-grid systems, battery storage, solar heating. One documented resident even built a solar-powered pizza oven. Others run a single bulb off a car battery and call it fine. The spectrum is wide, and where you land on it usually comes down to how long you've been here and how much you arrived with.
There's no rent. And once you get your solar system up, the sun never sends you a power bill. My RV's paid for. The motor was blown in it. Only paid $1,000. Everything inside of it worked. All the plugs, fridge, lights, everything worked. So now I got this tiny house for only $1,000. Like, I own the paper, it's sitting on land that I don't have to pay property tax on. And I got my solar system up, and I got air conditioning, I got a refrigerator, I got a swamp cooler, I got lights, charged cell phone, I got the internet. And I got all this, I got everything I had in my apartment in San Francisco. But this is not costing me nothing. It's free. This allows me to run my AC 10 hours a day, have my refrigerator on 24 hours a day, 24 batteries, and up on top are my solar panels. I have 6 280 watt panels. Then I've got this charge controller here. I've got it broke down. I've got a 60 amp and a 30 amp charge controller, and then this bad boy here is my power inverter, and this is my whole system.
Water is the daily crisis. There is no municipal water supply. The Coachella Canal runs along the northern edge of the community, fenced its entire length, and taking water from it is a felony. The Southern Canal carries agricultural runoff with pesticide levels high enough that visitors are advised not to drink it even after filtering. A hot spring exists near the entrance. Clean water is dispensed from a tank at the community church. Beyond that, residents bring their own, recommended at 5 gallons per person per day. In a summer that sits above 100 degrees for months at a stretch, 5 gallons is survival math, not comfort math. And then there's the sanitation question, which is honestly the question that most documentaries about Slab City manage to never directly answer. So here it is. There's no sewage system, no sewer line, no treatment facility anywhere in the community. RV residents use holding tanks that need to be driven to a dump station 10 miles out. Those without RVs use hand-dug pit latrines, or in some cases, less structured arrangements
Okay, well,
than
most
that.
of us just, use a toilet of some kind. Okay, just like camping, if you go camping, there's varying degrees. Some people need a princess potty like me, where I kind of have a quasi-septic system set up out here, which is really just digging a really, really, really large hole. And like I said, it drains really fast here. And again, if you're eating healthy foods, what's coming out of you is really not a problem.
Right.
So, but yeah, most people, if they don't have a toilet of some kind, they will dig a hole and just bury it and kind of rotate that around. And then there's a couple of kind of public potties around town. I wouldn't suggest using any of those, but most people have figured out a way. There's always the good old-fashioned outhouse. That's a very popular one. People get an old porta potty, cut the bottom out, put it over top of a hole, and then when you're done with that hole, you just cover it over and move the porta potty and start a new hole.
It's layered. The community itself, the decomposing waste, the burning trash. Because there is no collection service and the community has, on record, rejected efforts to bring one in, viewing organized disposal as the thin edge of gentrification's wedge. And then there are the fires. The Imperial County Fire Department documented 132 emergency calls to Slab City in a single year, 11 per month on average. The majority of those calls are medical, but fire calls are in that count. And the reason isn't hard to understand. Almost every structure here was built from salvaged material: wood, plywood, foam, tarp, plastic sheeting, old tires. Open flame cooking is standard. Generators overheat. And there's one more hazard that almost nobody mentions: the glass, bottles, jars, vehicle mirrors scattered across the desert floor everywhere you look. In this heat, glass concentrates sunlight into a focused point intense enough to ignite dry brush in seconds. The fires start fast. Every community has a version of itself it presents outward, and a version it lives with privately. Slab City is no different in that way. What is different is how wide that gap and how much is sitting inside it. So let's go there. Drug use in Slab City is not a rumor and not an exaggeration. Every credible account of this place, from residents, from visitors, from law enforcement documentation, names methamphetamine as the dominant substance in the community. It is available. It is cheap. In some accounts, it circulates freely, at no cost, among people who can least afford what it does to them. Why meth specifically? Partly because of all the substances that move through unhoused and economically marginal communities, it has become the most accessible. The DEA has documented street prices as low as $20 to $30 per gram in many American markets.
I do addict services, needle exchange, Narcan tests. I have all the addict services here, like alcohol prep pads, clean needles, Narcan tests. They drop off their dirties. I never put a needle in my arm in my life, but my mom was an addict and has been clean for decades. She's got an NA keychain taller than her. And my son was addicted for a couple of years and is now clean for a couple of years. So I do it for them. Somebody kept them alive, somebody gave them clean needles.
And that connects directly to something else that runs through this community and rarely gets addressed. The mental health dimension here is visible, and it is entirely untreated. Well over 2/3 of people experiencing long-term homelessness in the United States live with significant mental illness, substance use disorder, or both simultaneously. They are not here because the system worked and they chose something better. Many are here because the system ran out of patience or capacity before it could finish the job. Law enforcement is present in Slab City. Imperial County Sheriff's deputies and fire officials visit the area regularly, confirmed and on the record. The fire department's 11 calls a month puts it firmly on their response map. But there is a real difference between law enforcement that responds when called and law enforcement that maintains a constant presence. Slab City has the first. It has never had the second. In a community that is philosophically resistant to involving outside authority, where disputes are resolved internally wherever possible, a significant share of what happens here never results in a call being made. The internal justice system is real, informal, and variable. Sometimes reasonable, sometimes by any legal standard not. And in a place with no formal incident reporting and no witness infrastructure, the range of what happens and stays internal is wide. Slab City didn't create these people, it just accepted them. And that acceptance, unconditional, unstructured, unsupported by any government program or social safety net, is both the most extraordinary and the most troubling thing about it. It is extraordinary because it exists at all. It is troubling because it has to. Because here's the thing, the last free place isn't free. And still, people build things here. They make music. They trade skills and food and quiet kindness with strangers they chose to live beside. Some of them are here by choice, some by necessity, most by some complicated combination of both that doesn't fit neatly into either category. And all of them, every single one of them, ended up here because at some point every other door closed first. This is what the last free place actually is today. Not a destination, not a failure, a mirror, held up to a country that built 1,000 systems and left the cracks between them large enough for people to fall through entirely. Slab City is what lives in those cracks. And honestly, maybe the most unsettling thing about it is how familiar it looks once you stop long enough to really see it.